My name is Paola Merhi, and for my science fair, I did the effect on plant growth depending on the soil. Um, what is soil? Soil is a thin layer of material which covers the Earth's surface. Soils are formed from the weathering of rocks and are made up of organic materials that provide the seeds with nutrients and proteins so that they are able to grow. What nutrients are in the soil? Soil is a major source of nutrients needed for the plant's growth process. Plants need carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and potassium, along with calcium and magnesium and sulfur. Some background information. Sand is composed of silica, which is a quartz crystal. This means that it has little ability to hold water and no ability to hold on to nutrients. Loam holds on to nutrients and has a certain texture that can carry water long enough for the plant's root to access it. Planting mulch. As the mulch is decomposed, it adds the nutrients and organic matter to the soil and along with beneficial microorganisms. Fertilized soil. Most garden fertilizers contain nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, along with small amounts of the minor nutrients such as magnesium, calcium, sulfur, iron, and boron, which are all very beneficial to the plant. Experimental design. A question I had was, how does the ingredients in soil affect plant growth? Hopefully, this answer will Hopefully, the answer to this question will educate on how the soil affects the plant and in what ways it will help the plant to help it grow or just not really help it as much. My hypothesis is that I predict that the fertilized soil will have the most growth and health with the plant. And my explanation to this is that the more nutrient based the soil is, the more likely the plants are going to live in it. And soil that is more sandy would be too dry, and plants don't require as much care and are more likely to habitants in soil like that. The materials you'll need are 4 2.5 clay pots for the planting, labels, soils such as sandy loam, planting mulch, and fertilized plant soil, and a packet of seeds. I used cucumbers. Experimental setup. The independent variable would have been the sunlight and soils. The dependent variable is the plant growth. The constant variable would be the placing of the plants on the windowsill, and the controlled variable would be the amount of water used on the plant. The procedure that I did for this experiment is first I labeled the pots with what type of soil would be placed in it. Second, I put the soil in the separate pots. Third, you plant one seed in each pot. Fourth, you want to place pots in the same location in order for them to obtain the same amount of light. And fifth, you want to water and maintain the plants the exact same way so they all equal the same water and so that you know that you're getting the right results. Here are my results. They weren't really as expected. I thought that like the fertilized soil was going to be the best and all the others were going to kind of not grow as much, but in the end they all were the same length and they all were pretty healthy, so that wasn't really what I was expecting. My discussion, some errors here could have been the water was eyeballed rather than genuinely measured, and the plants removed due to cleaning but did not seem to stunt the growth. They were moved for roughly half a day away from the windowsill sunlight. They were just put in the middle of the kitchen, but that didn't really change much. And then experimental design would have been plants could have been placed outside for better sunlight and equal water slash rain. Even though it was outside, I still would have had to water it, but it would have been better for it to have more accessible sunlight. My conclusion, moving forward plus application. Some further experiment ideas would have to be same experiment, but with more difficult and specific plants that depend on a certain habitat. So plants like succulents that probably would need more attention to take care of. And application, how do the different nutrients in soils affect the growth of plants? And that is my science fair.